Ladies and gentlemen, you know, this is to be expected. When it comes down to criminal, uh, criminals, the real criminals, like these cops that are killing and maiming and doing all kinds of harm to people in the Black community, one thing we know, they don't like punishing anybody that looks just like them. They'll dance around it and do anything they can to make sure police officers are not punished. And, just because this Black Attorney General, Letitia James, is there, look, it doesn't matter. It's just like we see Black mayors, we see um, Black DAs, and these cops still get off. Because they're still all in cahoots with each other. It doesn't matter. Remember, this is the same woman that wanted to set up uh, a hotline for Asians that were experiencing racism. What about the Black community in New York that's going through racism? No hotline for them? This is the same person. Always keep that in mind. So, this is the Wall Street Journal, February 23rd, 2021. New York Attorney General Letitia James said Tuesday a grand jury didn't indict any police officer involved in the death of Daniel Prude, which we know somebody should have went to jail. I mean, remember, they put a bag over this man's head and he was nude and they killed him. They killed him. So, a Black man who died in March in Rochester, and it was the Rochester Police Department that restrained him. And they put a mesh hood over his head. They always got to go above and beyond when they're dealing with us. The criminal justice system has frustrated efforts to hold police officers accountable for unjustified killings of unarmed African Americans, Ms. James said in a press conference Tuesday. History has unfortunately repeated itself in the case of Daniel Prude. Yeah, well, all you got to do is get rid of that qualified immunity, and nobody is willing to stand up and do that. So as long as you don't take away that qualified immunity, I don't believe you're that upset about these deaths. I really don't. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Prude's death first became public in September after the family held a news conference and released officers' body camera footage. Miss James launched an investigation into Mr. Prude's death thereafter. On March 23rd, Rochester Police Department officers took Mr. Prude, who had a history of mental illness, the real stuff, not the fake mental illness, when you commit a crime, you did something wrong and all of a sudden you're mentally ill. No, not the fake stuff. He had the real thing. Okay, and into custody and responding to a report of a person acting erratically. Mr. Prude died in a hospital several days later. The Monroe County Office of the Medical Examiner ruled Mr. Prude's death a homicide. The autopsy report concluded he died of asphyxiation in a setting of physical restraint, acute intoxication. Yeah, and I remember his brother said he went out looking for him. It's unfortunate that the police was called because he probably could have been saved. So he had mental illness and he was restrained and was never the same after that. Never the same. The death of Mr. Prude prompted widespread demonstrations in Rochester that were sometimes accompanied by arrest and destruction of property. Yeah, y'all, that's one thing. Y'all always hanging on to that property stuff. So, he ended up non-responsive and he had later vomited. They claimed that he was spitting and trying to bite them. These cops will say anything. But it's amazing how nothing like that is on the body cam footage. But this is what they claim he did. When it's us, it's always something over the top. You know how it is. So the attorney for Mr. Prude's family said Tuesday that the criminal justice system had failed Mr. Prude, and they sure did. They fail a multitude of Black people at this point from getting justice. I mean, the system is made to make sure we get no justice and make sure they get off the hook for everything. That's how it's designed. And if you let these people go on for another 1,000 years, they would keep it going just like this. No wonder why in the biblical text it says that this place must come down. I agree. It absolutely must come down. As long as these folks got any kind of leverage up in this system, they're going to use it against us. That's the only thing they're focused on each and every day. How they're going to get over killing one of us and walking away scot free. This has been their legacy. See, they think their legacy is all these great things and great inventions that they didn't invent and great medicine that they did not invent. They think that's their legacy. No, your legacy is going to be killing and setting up a system where you got away with it. That's what you're going to really be remembered for. You're not going to be remembered for anything else. You think you are, but you won't. See, as we move into the future and your numbers keep dwindling due to low birth rate, history will not be kind to you. It won't, because it will not be you or any of your generations following writing that history. It won't. See, you think it will be because it has been all up into this time, but it won't. It won't. And history will not be kind to you like you think it will be. It won't. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.